best practices for Inventor is we want to make sure that we're fully constrained in our sketches. And why do we want to do that? Inventor really doesn't care. If I throw down some geometry within a model, Inventor doesn't care if it's fully constrained or not. So if I go to my face here and I take a look at my sketch, you're going to see, I have a few dimensions here outlining, but in my lower right-hand corner in my Inventor session here, it says, fully constrained. Now, if it's a dynamic component, there may be instances where you don't want to fully constrain your sketches. Maybe you want to leave a degree of freedom open to allow for components to stretch or contract or something like that. But I would say a good 95% of the time, depending on your industry, you're going to want to fully constrain your components. And this is simply because of how Inventor works. Like I said, Inventor doesn't care if I remove all these dimensions, my geometry isn't going to randomly change. However, if you don't fully lock down your sketches, just like in your assembly environment, if you don't fully constrain your components to one another somehow, it's more computations, more calculations than Inventor has to do, and to some degree, it's going to impact your performance. Now, all of us are looking to have high efficiency configurations and models. We want stability. We don't want to have some level of frustration when working with models and configurations. So ensuring that our fundamentals, our foundations, are solid and stable by fully constraining our sketches and keeping them as simple as possible, that's one way to achieve that level of performance in which we're looking for. Okay, let me finish out my sketch here. All right, going back over to the PowerPoint. Let's take a look here. So fully constrained simple sketches only include the information that is necessary to achieve that particular feature. If it's an extrusion, if it's a revolution, make sure you're leveraging center lines and construction geometry. And if you do, once again, fully constrain that sometimes. Maybe it requires a constraint, maybe it requires a dimension, but you want to try to achieve that fully constrained goal of making sure your sketches are fully constrained.